Let's get started with our first news. Balal Muhammad has opened up about the biggest regret from his recent fight with Jack Della Maddalena, where he lost his welterweight title. In a moment of reflection, Balal admitted that he strayed from the carefully crafted game plan that his coaches had prepared for him. It wasn't just a tactical error, it was a personal one that he's still coming to terms with. Yeah, man, I think a lot of people are talking about the game plan, his coaches, blah blah blah, but for me, that's what hurts the most, Balal said. I truly believe I have the best team in the world. I've got some of the best coaches out there. We go into every fight with a clear strategy, and obviously in this one, the plan was to take Jack down. It was never to go blow for blow or brawl for brawl with him. That plan, however, changed once he stepped into the octagon. Balal explained that the confidence he gained from months of striking improvements played a big role in altering his approach mid-fight. He didn't follow the blueprint, instead he trusted his instincts, something that he now sees might have cost him the win. I've been working hard on my striking, I've grown so much, and I wasn't lying during the lead up to this fight when I said I can box with him, I can strike with him, I'm not afraid, and when I stepped in there, I just felt good. But confidence, while powerful, can be a double-edged sword, especially when it leads a fighter away from what was practiced for weeks, even months. Balal also spoke about the shift in energy and mindset that comes with being a champion. They say when you become champ, you gain 20% better, and man, I felt that. I always believed I was the best in the world. I still believe that, so I was like, I can strike with this guy. People were doubting me, saying I couldn't hang with him on the feet, but I stood toe-to-toe with him. Still, that decision to abandon the game plan is something he owns entirely. He didn't blame his coaches or his team. He put the responsibility squarely on himself. I went on my own, and at the end of the day, I'm going to live with that. It came down to one round, maybe even just one exchange that could have swayed the judges either way. Was the game plan wrong? I don't know. It could have gone the other way. Maybe the fight could have been easier. But at the end of the day, I love to fight. It's a brutal lesson for a champion, one that speaks volumes about the fine margins in elite MMA and how even a slight shift in approach can change everything. Moving on to our second story, Henry Cejudo has weighed in on the recent decisions by Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev to vacate their UFC titles, and he's not holding back. The former two-division champion believes that both fighters have made a critical mistake that could impact their legacies in the long run. Specifically, Cejudo was deeply disappointed with Islam Makhachev's decision to give up his lightweight title in order to move up and chase the welterweight belt. In Cejudo's eyes, this was a missed opportunity to do something historic, something only a few fighters in UFC history have ever achieved. I don't think Islam should have ever given up the title, Cejudo said. You hold the belt, then move up. That's how you become a real double champ. You have to be a simultaneous champion, owning two divisions. That's what makes it special. Henry knows a thing or two about this subject. He's one of only 3 fighters in UFC history to hold 2 belts at the same time, joining the exclusive club alongside Conor McGregor and Daniel Cormier. For Cejudo, it's not just about winning titles in different weight classes. It's about doing it simultaneously, a true demonstration of dominance and greatness. He even went as far as personally reaching out to Islam's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, in an attempt to stop the decision before it became official. I told him, don't do it. Don't relinquish that belt. There's only been 3 in UFC history: McGregor, Daniel Cormier, and myself. It's rare. It's historic. For Cejudo, it wasn't just a business or matchmaking mistake. It was a moment that could have added a huge milestone to Islam's legacy. In his view, when you're one of the best fighters in the world, especially someone ranked in the pound-for-pound conversation, you earn the power to bend the traditional rules. And giving up that power voluntarily, that's what baffles him the most. You're in a position of power. You can do what you want, Cejudo emphasized. Islam earned that status. He should have held onto both belts. Cejudo argued that when fighters like Islam and Ilia reach the pinnacle of the sport, they need to start thinking bigger, not just about fights, but about history. Being a champion is great, but being a simultaneous 2-division champion, that's the kind of thing that gets remembered forever. In his mind, vacating the belt removes some of that impact. Instead of going up as the reigning lightweight king, Islam now steps into a new division without the badge of dominance he rightfully earned. Time will tell whether Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria made the right call. But if you ask Henry Cejudo, the answer is clear. They should have held on and made history. Now on to another headline. Ray Longo, a respected coach and analyst in the MMA world, believes Ilia Topuria is poised to knock out Charles Oliveira when the two clash for the vacant lightweight title at UFC 317. According to Ray, Topuria has the right combination of skills, power, and mindset to finish the former champion and walk away with the belt. I believe Topuria wins that fight, and honestly, I think he knocks him out, Ray said. Charles is a bit chinny. He always finds a way to come back, sure, but this kid is different. He's 27 years old. If he hurts you, he's not letting you off the hook. Ray's confidence in Topuria stems not just from his recent performances, but from the complete package the young fighter brings into the octagon. While Oliveira has long been known for his dangerous jiu-jitsu and ability to recover from adversity, Ray sees a different type of threat in Ilia, one that Oliveira may not be able to overcome. His wrestling's solid. His jiu-jitsu is good enough for what he needs to do, Ray explained. He's squared away everywhere, confident, powerful. He hits like a freight train. In Ray's view, Topuria isn't just another strong striker. He's a well-rounded and dangerous finisher who doesn't hesitate when he smells blood. And that's exactly what makes this fight so dangerous for someone like Charles Oliveira, who has been dropped multiple times in past fights, even during his title run. Longo also raised concerns about Charles's durability and whether he truly belongs in the 155-pound division. Charles fought at 145, right? He might just be an in-betweener, he said. But Topuria, look at the streak he's on. I think Charles is in real trouble here. The coach acknowledged that while Oliveira is a fan favorite for his incredible heart and comeback wins, that same style can also be a liability, especially against someone like Topuria, who won't give opponents time to recover. Charles has always been in these wild fights where he gets dropped and comes back, Ray noted. But how many times can you do that? Eventually, you run into someone who doesn't give you that second chance. That someone might just be Ilia, Ray concluded by praising Topuria's mentality, something he believes separates him from others in the division. At just 27 years old, Ilia is not only hungry but mentally sharp, with the ability to stay composed under pressure and capitalize when his opponent slips. This kid's got it all, Ray said, and I think we're gonna see a new lightweight champion with a highlight reel finish to prove it. As UFC 317 approaches, the anticipation is building. Fans are eager to see if Ray Longo's prediction comes true, or if Charles Oliveira has one more comeback left in him. Now for some controversial news, a petition demanding that Jon Jones be stripped of his UFC heavyweight title is making serious waves online, and the number of supporters is climbing fast. As of now, the petition has gained over 41,000 signatures, reflecting the mounting frustration among MMA fans over Jones's inactivity and the overall stagnation of the UFC's heavyweight division while he remains sidelined. Launched on change.org, the petition began as a grassroots effort but quickly gathered steam, especially after it crossed the 15,000 signature mark. That's when Jon Jones himself decided to weigh in. Rather than issuing a formal statement or addressing fans' concerns directly, the reigning champion opted for a far more sarcastic and lighthearted response. In the comment section of Sportsca's Instagram post highlighting the petition, Jones replied with a crying laugh emoji, followed by the now viral phrase, the equivalent to picograms. For those unfamiliar, the reference to picograms is a callback to Jones's past drug testing controversies, where trace levels, so small they were measured in picograms, of banned substances were found in his system. The UFC and USADA maintained that these trace amounts were too small to be performance enhancing and were likely remnants of previous ingestion. Still, the topic has been a constant source of debate and meme-worthy material in the MMA world. By referencing it here, Jones was clearly mocking the petition, implying it was as irrelevant and overblown as those trace substances. But not everyone saw the humor. While some fans appreciated the tongue-in-cheek reply, others were outraged, arguing that this type of response only confirms their worst fears, that Jones isn't taking his championship reign seriously. They point to his prolonged absence due to injury, his lack of a clear return timeline, and his unwillingness to commit to a unification bout with interim champion Tom Aspinall as reasons for the belt being effectively held hostage. The situation has become increasingly polarizing. On one hand, Jon Jones is a legend, widely regarded as one of the greatest fighters in MMA history. On the other hand, fans are growing tired of waiting, and many feel that if Jones isn't able or willing to compete soon, the UFC should crown a new active champion. As of now, the UFC has made no official statement about the petition, and there's no indication that it will impact Jones's status. Historically, fan petitions haven't moved the needle when it comes to UFC title decisions. Jones remains the undisputed heavyweight champion, at least on paper. paper. Still, the momentum behind this petition speaks volumes. Over 41,000 fans have already made their voices heard, and that number continues to grow. Whether or not the UFC listens, one thing is certain: the MMA community wants clarity, and they're demanding a resolution, with or without Jon Jones. Back to Balal Muhammad now. He's continuing to reflect deeply on what went wrong at UFC 315, where he lost his welterweight title in a stunning upset to Jack Della Maddalena. Heading into the bout, Balal was the favorite, and for good reason. His style has always been defined by relentless pressure, smothering top control, and grinding wrestling. Many analysts expected him to neutralize Jack's striking by constantly shooting takedowns and keeping the fight on the mat. But once the cage door closed, the plan didn't unfold the way fans or his team expected. Instead of sticking to the grappling-heavy game plan, Balal opted to strike with Jack, engaging in long, risky exchanges that ultimately cost him the fight. And when Balal did attempt takedowns, Jack showed surprising poise, defending well and getting back to his feet quickly. Balal recently gave a raw and honest interview on Remember the Show, where he opened up further about the fight and the choices he made in the octagon. The game plan was to take him down, Balal admitted. Not go blow for blow, but man, it's a weird thing when you've trained so much striking and you're feeling great in there. My striking has come a long way. Balal said that months of improvement in his stand-up made him more confident than ever in his hands. That confidence, while real, may have been his undoing. I said it before the fight, and I meant it. I believed I could strike with him, and I did. We stood toe-to-toe. People told me I couldn't do it, but I proved them wrong, even if I lost. Still, Balal admits that going off script, ignoring the original game plan, was a major risk, one he now has to live with. I went off script and yeah, we lost the fight, but I'll live with that. It might have come down to just one moment, one exchange. Maybe the judges could have gone my way. Was the game plan wrong? Maybe. Could the fight have been easier if I stuck to it? Maybe. But like I said, I love to fight. Balal's reflection raises an interesting debate. Was his decision to abandon the plan a pivotal mistake? Or are fans simply underestimating how good Jack Della Maddalena really is? One thing is clear, Balal took responsibility, didn't make excuses, and showed the mentality of a true warrior. Now, with the belt gone, the path back won't be easy. But if there's one thing fight fans know about Balal, it's that he never backs down from a challenge. And finally, Michael Bisping is not holding back when it comes to Jon Jones. The former middleweight champion is calling for accountability, and he's pointing his finger squarely at Jon. In Bisping's view, the UFC heavyweight title shouldn't be collecting dust, and the man holding it, Jon Jones, needs to make a decision. Either come back and defend the belt, or vacate it. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Bisping laid it out bluntly. If you're the heavyweight champ of the world, you have an obligation to the fans, to the sport, to your fellow fighters. Live your life, sure, but if you're retired, just be honest about it. Bisping is expressing what many in the MMA community have been feeling. While Jon continues to recover from injury and posts cryptic updates online, the heavyweight division remains frozen, and fighters like Tom Aspinall are left in limbo. He also pointed out that Jon might be intentionally playing mind games. Jon is a master of the mental game. Maybe this is all psychological. But if not, and he's just stringing things along to hang on to the belt, that's appalling. And Bisping didn't hide his sympathy for interim champion Tom Aspinall, who has been dominating opponents but can't unify the title without Jon stepping up. Tom's in the prime of his life. He's finishing everybody with ease. He should be fighting every few months, building his legacy, making money, but instead he's waiting, sitting on the sidelines. Then came the boldest claim of all. Bisping believes Tom would beat Jon soundly. I've said this before. I think Tom smokes him. I'm not saying Jon doesn't think he can win, but he knows it'll be tough. But hey, that's what elite fights are supposed to be. Tough. That's a strong statement coming from someone who's trained with the best, fought at the highest level, and knows the mental warfare that goes on at the top. To close things out, Bisping gave a powerful reminder. Jon was once the young lion, the phenom getting his shot at greatness. He was the youngest champ in UFC history. Now, a new generation is coming up, and they deserve the same shot he got. Bisping is urging Jon to pay it forward, either defend the throne or step aside and let the division move forward. So there you have it, a day full of headlines and heated takes shaking up the MMA world. Whose side are you on, Balal's or the critics? Do you agree with Cejudo's take on double champs? Is Topuria really going to knock out Charles Oliveira? And most importantly, does Jon need to step up or step away? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, fight fans, stay tuned.